How does one come out? What's up, guys? Welcome to Paperboy. This week we're talking about coming out to friends and family. So I had two coming outs. I came out when I was 30 as being gay. And what I did was I wrote a letter to my parents, but then I made copies for my siblings. I have one sister and two half-brothers. And I mailed the letter to all of them. And it's easier for me to communicate in writing. I'm not a good verbal communicator. It's easier for me to get my thoughts down on paper and be able to think about what I'm going to say. And so I sent my siblings a copy of that letter because I wanted them to see exactly what I told my parents. I didn't want my parents to have to explain to them. But it was meant for my parents because I quite honestly felt like I didn't owe anybody else an explanation, just my parents. It wasn't received well. My mom was good within 2 days, but like my sister said she wished I'd never told her. And then I had one brother, like his wife basically wrote a research paper on my coming out letter. It was the most bizarre thing I've ever read. She like put my words in quotations and put what you said here, blah, blah, blah. I think what you're trying to say is like, and I'm like, why is she analyzing it? I was just trying to come out. And then, so anyway, I got past that, and my dad never really was okay with me coming out. With friends, you know, I was already like sort of making friends with other gay women, other lesbians. So, you know, with my friends, they were already knew. I had a best friend at the time who was really homophobic, and she asked me if I was with this girl I was seeing at the time, and I was like, yes. And she's like, so you go down on her? I was like, yeah. She's like, wow. And then she ends up being a lesbian years later, which she admitted her homophobia was because of the feelings she'd been having. And then coming out as trans, that was a lot more difficult because I waited for my dad to die. He was already sick with cancer, and he and I had already had trouble about me being gay for years because I came out when I was 30 years ago. And I wanted to make peace with him before I died, and I did, and we had a talk about me being gay, and it brought me to tears, and he's like, I just can't accept that you're gay. This was 3 days before he died, but if you are, you are. You're my child, and I'll always love you. And I'm so glad we had that moment, and I didn't mention anything about being trans, because I wouldn't have had peace with him. And I had been starting to post things on Facebook, sort of to put it out there. Like I would post articles about trans information in the news. Caitlyn Jenner was coming out at the time, and my sister said, I see what you've been putting on Facebook, and I just want you to know that God doesn't make mistakes, and you were born a girl, and blah. I was like, well, the only thing stopping me from coming out is Dad being alive. And so I basically then recorded everyone a voice message. And I explained how I'd felt this way since I was little. I wrote one niece a really long letter because she preferred it in writing. So it was a combination of coming out over voice recordings and written letters. And then, of course, I started vlogging. And then on Facebook, I just announced it on Facebook, and I deleted a lot of friends before I actually made it official, because I thought they're not going to accept this. And some came and said, why did you unfriend me? And I was like, well, because this is going on, and I didn't figure you'd be comfortable with it. And, you know, some were like, I don't have any problem with you being who you are. And, you know, some haven't talked to me. So I kind of did a combination of things. With my friends, one of my friends that's a lesbian couple, I call them my fellers. I told them, and they've been supportive. They were like one of the first 3 people. I told my friend in New York first, and then I told them too, and they were like, we knew this about you, you know. People that really know me, they knew it was always a fact. And they said, one of them said it was because I liked Max on L Word. I thought that was funny. And then the first family person I came out to, of course, my wife was the first person, and then we talked to my son about it when he was 7, 2 years ago. And then the first family member I came out with that was my cousin, and that was when my dad was dying, and she thought I should be honest with my dad, but she didn't push me. So it's been a struggle. Some of my family's still struggling with it. Some can't accept it. Some can. So it is what it is. But I use the combination of writing and voice messaging and Facebook. So mine was sort of a buffet of ways to come out. So anyway, that's what I did. Look forward to hearing everybody else's stories on coming out. And I hope you all have a great week. If you have questions, remember we're going to be doing a Q&A soon. Pop some questions down in the comments. We're happy to collect them and get you guys some answers, all right? Peace and love.